such as one. Much, Mebeth, I want to learn all you have to teach. 2000 XP! So you'll walk the path... Walk the path then, Mebeth pauses. Well, first things first. Or firstly, just having the knack for the art isn't enough. You need some means of giving it focus, usually spells. The spells are usually in a book, so the art demands you have a spell book. Or it's like a force you can cast spells. Can you read? Yes. Then let's test it. Can you read this? Mebeth draws forth a small tattered card. It looks like a recipe. Examine the recipe. Okay. Yeah, can you read this? Mebeth draws forth a small tattered card. It looks like a recipe. Strangely enough, the writing on the recipe swims before your eyes. Each symbol twisting out of focus whenever you try to reach it. Read it, even. Jeez. Study the symbols, see if you can decipher them. You study the symbols intently, no matter how hard you concentrate, however. The writing on the recipe seems to flow out of focus, bending and twisting like a nest of snakes. It makes your eyes hurt just trying to follow their movements. Keep studying the symbols, try and puzzle out their meaning. You keep studying the symbols for a few more minutes, Mebeth silently watching you. Oh, I give up, Mebeth. What does this writing mean? As you're about to give up and turn away, you relax your eyes and take in the page all at once. As you do, the symbols suddenly bleed together. The recipe lists measurements, ingredients. It appears to be some sort of minor divination. This is a minor divination, isn't it? It looks like it's a spell that allows the user to see the nature of an item, to see whether it's enchanted or not. Identify. Mebeth's eyes widen. Who are you to test old Mebeth so? Are you some fiend? No, well, not to my knowledge. What's wrong?
Updated my journal.
Well, not expecting it, was I? She nods at the recipe, then plucks it out of your hand. What you see, it's written in the language of the art. If you're not a mageling yet, it should be all swirl a jumble, or all a swirl jumble of mishmash. She snaps her finger, yet clear as crystal you pluck the sense of it right up. Mayhap you tell old Mebeth why that is? I think I may have known once but forgot. Seeing the symbols just jarred my memory. Or else a natural gift you may have. No matter, no matter. You've just shaved seasons off of your learning you have. Mebeth harumphs. I'd been looking for someone to handle the chores around here, I had. If you need help with anything around here, you can still ask. It's the least I can do in exchange for you teaching me. No, don't worry yourself about that, she frowns. Well, you can read spells well enough, but spells are no good to you without a book to put them in. Do you have one? Mebeth glances around the hut, and then she catches sight of the black barbed picture frame you made. She picks it up carefully and studies it. This'll do. That thing? It's just a frame. Ah, but so are you, child. Still holding the frame, she picks up one of the starched rags you got from Giscol. With a yank, she pulls off the greenish starched surface film. It flutters in the air like a wispy bit of cloth. Whatever Giscol used in that wash, it works better than cursing. At curing, even. Stretching and stoning does on a normal rag. Can't afford parchment, I can't. Parchment? Oh, this is weird. She takes the starchy film and pulls it over the black barbed frame, latching the rag's edges onto the hooks around the frame until it looks like a small greenish-black painter's canvas. It's missing something. Well, it needs something painted on it. She nods. Aye, or written on it. She takes the tankard of ink you've given her and sets it down next to her. She dips one of her fingernails into the tankard, then draws it out. Mumbling to herself, she begins to scratch symbols onto the frame, one by one, still mumbling to herself. Wait. All's done. Mebeth stands, drying her ink-stained fingernail on her robe. She tilts her head, regarding the strange framed page in front of her. A page for your spellbook, it is. She indicates you should pick it up. Take it. Inside your spellbook are your recipes, your spells, if you will. As long as they sit in the book, though, they're just words. She taps her head. The art demands you pluck the magic out of the book and put them in your attic, your head, before you can tap their power. Go on. Okay, so this actually does teach you how to use magic and stuff. You put them in your attic by studying them, memorizing them. You usually need to rest before you can do this, though. Any questions? No, Mebeth. Oh, no questions, eh? Well, now you should have questions. You know alls about how to memorize spells, do you? You're a sharp one. You sure you don't need any more Mebeth's words, goblin up your precious time? You're a master sorcerer already. Forgive me, Mebeth. I meant no questions on what you'd said. Please, explain how to memorize spells. Alright then. Here's a dark of how you memorize spells. Pick the spell you want to stick in your head from your spellbook. Before you go to sleep, when you wake in the morn, they'll be buzzing in your head like flies, ready to be let out. How many spells can I cast? You can only cast one, mayhap 2 spells afore needing to rest again. As a tiny flitting mageling, there isn't much room in your attic. So use your spells wisely until you get wiser in the art. As your power increases, you'll get more room in your attic for spells. Alright, go on. You can only cast spells you've memorized. So if you want to use the art to say, mend something twice, you need to memorize the spell. How many times? Twice? Okay, Mebeth nods. Aye, twice. Right enough. How can I get more spells?
Updated my journal.
Mebeth shrugs. Keep your eyes and ears out for learning. Even common folk might have minor magics to teach. There's also scrolls, recipes, books, and even some stranger items that have spells inscribed on them. If you find one, just examine it close and copy it into your book. If you want it. Got it. I can also show you more spells if you return, especially when you have a little more of the planes in you. I'd appreciate it, thanks. Before you go, child, you'll need some magics. You'll need some magics for you to whet your appetite. Mebeth rummages in her robe and pulls forth 3 small recipes, which she passes to you. You should copy these into your book, so they can go into your attic as soon as possible. Thanks, Mebeth.
My journal.
Holy crap. So, wait, there's more. Mebeth fishes a tiny bundle of black cloth from her apron, unrolls it, producing a pair of amber earrings. These will protect you on your travels, child. I no longer wear them myself, so go ahead and take them. Thanks again. Alright, child, don't tarry here any longer. One such as you has other ways to spend one's time rather than hang around old Mebeth. You're not so old. You flatterer. Your tongue is so lined with silver it'd be a shame. Or it'd shame a Batazu. Get you hence. Thanks for everything, Mebeth. You can thank me by not playing the Addle Cove with what you've learned. The arts damned many a fool who sought to bend it in many ways. Or in ways the arts weren't meant to bend. Now get along with you.
I feel stronger.
So I've leveled up as a mage. Yeah, there we go. Nameless One, he is a mage. Spell memorization abilities have increased. So now if I speak with Dokon... Wait a minute. Oh, so now I'm a mage of level 3. But I still get HP and everything. This is cool. Right, talk with Dokon.
What is your will?
There are things I wish to know. Can I talk to you about your teachings? Oh, there we go. Teach me of the art. Because now I'm a mage. Teach me of the art. Know that the way of the people is not the same as the art you have come to know. It is not the energy that gives strength, it is knowing that self, the self that gives strength. The teachings of Zerthamon speak of such things. Would you teach me the way of Zerthamon, Dokon? Do you know what you have asked? The texture of Dokon's blade flows until it becomes a stone. To walk the path of Zerthamon, you must know of the people. The knowing of such things by one not of the people is a difficult matter. There are those not of the people who have heard the way of Zerthamon, but they do not know the way. Dokon, I want to know of the people and know Zerthamon's teachings. I believe there is wisdom to be learned in such things.
Updated my journal.
Know that I have heard your words, and I shall test them. To learn, you must know the people. To know the people, you must know the Unbroken Circle of Zerthamon. Dokon holds up the stone disc in his possession, and his spider-like fingers hook into its sides. There is a click, and the plates of the circle slide into a new configuration. It reverses the motion, sealing the stone. Know the first circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it, and I will hear your words. I will read the first circle, then, in the meantime, I had other things I would like to know. Oh no. I shall... Okay. I will examine it, then I will speak with you again. So... Hold the phone. Amber earrings. Usable only by mages, and only by the Nameless One. Ooh! Wait, what? Oh, these are recipes! Copy! Chromatic Orb. And Blood Bridge. Nice! Cool. Wait, so... If I use... Ah, there we go. So this small round stone is the Unbroken Circle of Zerthamon. It is made up of a series of interlocking circles that fold out from one another. The complexity of the plates and the intricacy of their links prove the text was constructed by a master artisan. Unlock the first plate as Dokon showed you. You mirror the motions that Dokon made upon the circle, and the plates give way at your touch. The rings sliding into a new configuration. Upon the rings are a series of symbols. The script is like no writing you have ever seen. It is a series of interlocking geometries with circles predominating. Just looking at it, you know the symbols and know you can read them. Read the first circle of Zerthamon. Know that we are of the first people. Or we are the first people. So, continue reading. Once all was chaos, the first people were thought drawn from chaos. When the first people came to know themselves, they were chaos no longer and became flesh. With their thoughts and knowing of matter, the people shaped the first world and dwelled there with their knowing to sustain them. Yet the flesh was new to the people, and with it the people came to not to know themselves. The flesh gave rise to new thoughts, greed and hates, pains and joys, jealousies and doubts. All of these fed on each other, and the minds of the people were divided. In their division, the people were punished. The emotions of the flesh were strong, the greed and hates, the pains and joys, the jealousies and doubts, all of these served as a guiding stone to enemies. In becoming flesh, the first people became enslaved to those who knew flesh only as tools for their will. Know these beasts were the Illithids? The Illithids were a race that had come not to know themselves. They had learned how to make other races not know themselves. They were the tentacled ones. They lived in flesh and saw flesh as tools for their will. Their blood was as water, and they shaped minds with their thoughts. When the Illithids came upon the people were a people no more. The people became slaves. The Illithids took the people from the first world and brought them to the false worlds. As the people laboured upon the false worlds, the Illithids taught them the way of the flesh. Through them the people came to know loss. They came to know suffering. They came to know death. Both of the body and mind, they came to know what it is to be the herd of another and have their flesh consumed. They came to know the horror of being made to feel joy in such things. Finish reading the circle. The Unbroken Circle is the knowing of how the people lost themselves and how they came to know themselves again. So slide the plates closed and seal the circle. Right, so talk to Dakon again.
What is your will?
There are things I wouldn't know. Teach me of the art. I have read the Unbroken Circle of Zerthamon. I want to speak to you more about the ways of Zerthamon. Okay, so what did you come to know? Strength lies in knowing oneself. Should I save first? I don't know if I should. So, strength lies in knowing oneself. I learned that once someone does not know themselves, they are lost, they become a tool for others. Okay, so yeah, it's that. Strength lies in them. You have come to know the first circle of Zerthamon. You not only see the words of Zerthamon, you have come to know them. Dakon holds up the circle and hooks his fingers around the edges. There is a click. The plates of the circle slide into a new configuration. He reverses the motion, sealing the stone. Know the second circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it and I will hear your words. I will read the second circle, yeah, and then get back to you. Lots of reading, but I don't mind. It's fun. It really is. Dialogue in this game is just so good. Right, so unlock the second circle of Zerthamon. You slide the plates into the configuration Dakon showed you, and a new ring is revealed. The ring carries the same script as you read before, with the same geometries. You know the symbols, and know you can read them. Read the second circle. Know that flesh cannot mark steel. Know that steel may mark flesh. In knowing this, Zerthamon became free. So... know that the tentacled ones were of flesh. They relied on the flesh and used it as tools for their will. One of the places where flesh served their will was the fields of husks on the false worlds of the Illithids. The fields were where the bodies of the people were cast after the Illithids had consumed their brains. When the brain had been devoured, the husks came to be fertilizer to grow the poison-stemmed grasses of the Illithids. Zerthamon worked the fields with no knowing of himself, or what he had become. He was a tool of flesh, and the flesh was content. It was upon these fields that Zerthamon came to know the scripture of steel. During one of the turnings, as Zerthamon tilled the field with his hands, he came across a husk, whose brain remained within it. It had not been used as food, yet it was dead. The thought that one of the husks had died a death without serving as food for the Illithids was a thought Zerthamon had difficulty understanding. From that thought came a desire to know what had happened to the husk. Embedded in the skull of the husk was a steel blade. It had pierced the bone. Zerthamon realized that was what had killed the husk. The steel had marked the flesh, but the flesh had not marked the steel. Zerthamon took the blade and studied its surface. In it he saw his reflection. It was in the reflection of the steel that Zerthamon first knew himself. Its edge was sharp, its will it was the blade that would come to be raised against Gith when Zerthamon made the pronouncement of two skies. Continue reading the symbols. Zerthamon kept the blade for many turnings, and many were the thoughts he had about it. He used it in the fields to aid his work. In using it, he thought about how it was not used. Continue reading the symbols. The Illithids were powerful. Zerthamon had believed that there was nothing that they did not know, yet the Illithids never carried tools of steel. They only used flesh as tools. Everything was done through flesh, for the tentacled ones were made of flesh and they knew flesh. Yet steel was superior to flesh. When the blade had killed the husk, it was the flesh that had been weaker than the steel. It was then that Zerthamon came to know that flesh yielded to steel. In knowing that, he came to know that steel was stronger than the Illithids. Finish reading the symbol. Steel became the scripture of the people. Know that the steel is a scripture by which the people came to know freedom. Slide them back together. Talk to the con.
What is your will?
Like to know. Talked about your teachings. I've read the Unbroken Circle of Zerthamon. I want to speak to you more about the ways of Zerthamon. Ooh, God. I learned that not knowing something can be a tool just like flesh and steel, if, upon encountering it, you attempt to know its nature and how it came to be. I learned that while tending the fields of the Illithids, Zerthamon learned the nature of steel and how it could be used to defeat the Illithids. No, it's definitely the top one. I learned that not knowing something can be a tool, just like flesh and steel. So if upon encountering it, you attempt to know its nature and how it came to be. You have seen the words, and you have seen beyond them. You have come to know the second circle of Zerthamon. He takes the circle, and with a deft motion, he twists one of the links so one of the plates slides forth, but strangely enough, the stones still appear intact. He hands the plate to you. Meditate upon this teaching, and the knowing of it shall give you strength. When you have absorbed it, you shall know more. Okay, very well, I will study the circle. Wait, why can't I do number 2? Sure. Oh! Study the circle, yet I would still know more of Zerthamon's teachings. Dakon's fingers feel around the edges of the stone circle. He twists it clockwise, the links clicking until they have settled into a new configuration. He then reverses the motion, resetting the stone. The next circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it, then I will hear your words. I'm gonna go outside because it's louder out here. I'm actually just looking at what... You need wisdom to actually do the Zerthamon stuff. So I have wisdom. I have 17. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, actually, you need a mixture of wisdom and intelligence. Oh, no, you don't. You need... Intelligence comes into play for the 7th and 8th circle. So, not too bad, really. But I want to do these as much as possible because they actually help with... What's his face? They help with Dakon. So I can get up to the 6th... Oh, no, I can't. I can get up to the 5th circle of Zerthamon. Damn. Yeah, because I've got 17 wisdom. I have so much. What am I doing? Oh yeah, encountering the circle. Wow, there's no music. I hate this. Right there. I'm going back to here because there's actually sound. God. Mm-hmm. Or like so I would hope. Yeah, there we go. It's more like it. Although I go into the inventory, there's nothing. Unlock the third circle of Zerthamon. You slide the plates into the configuration Dakon showed you. With the... Oh no, crap. So, what to say? And a new ring is revealed. The ring carries the same script as you read before, with the same geometries. You know the symbols and know you can read them. Read the third circle. Alright. So, Zerthamon laboured many turnings for the Illithid, Arlathi twice deceased, and his partnership in the cavernous heavens of the false worlds. His duties would have broken the backs of many others, but Zerthamon laboured on, suffering torment and exhaustion. It came to pass that the Illithid, Arlathi twice deceased, ordered Zerthamon before him in his many-veined... Is that Galeria? He claimed that Zerthamon had committed slights of obstinance and cowardice against his partnership. The claim had no weight of truth, for Arlathi only wished to know if flames raged within Zerthamon's heart. He wished to know if Zerthamon's heart was one of a slave or of a rebel. Zerthamon surrendered to the Illithid punishment rather than reveal his newfound strength. He knew that were he to show the hatred in his heart, it would say nothing, and it would harm others that felt as he. He chose to endure the punishment and was placed within the Pillars of Silence so he might suffer for returning. Lashed upon the pillars, Zerthamon moved his mind to a place where pain could not reach, leaving his body behind. He lasted a turning, then when he was brought before Arlathi twice deceased, he gave gratitude for his punishment to the Illithid. As was custom, in so doing, he proved himself a slave in the Illithid eyes, while his heart remained free. By enduring and quenching the fires of his hatred, he allowed Arlathi twice deceased to think him weak. When the time of the rising came, Arlathi was the first of the Illithid to know death by Zerthamon's hand, and die a third death. So that was that. Okay, so I finished that. So, slide it closed. Alright, Dakon.
What is your will?
Number 1, number 3, number 2. Ooh. So what did you... wait, what did you come to know? I learned that sometimes a leader must suffer in order to protect his goals. No, it's definitely the first. Endure. In enduring, grow strong. I'm pretty sure he even says that, does he not? Zerthamon. Zerthamon. Dakon even. I'm certain that when you beat, like, finished combat, sometimes he says that. Maybe. I might be wrong. Endure. I'm gaining XP. I'm gaining XP as a mage. This is awesome. So I'll actually level up as a mage. The words you speak seem to strike Dakon strangely. As you speak them, his forehead creases, then resettles into its normal passive expression. Okay. I have to click. Okay. Your will has brought you the knowing of the third circle of Zerthamon. With this knowing, I impart this to you. He takes the circle, and with a deft motion he twists one of the links, so one of the plates slides forth. He hands the plate to you, meditate upon its teachings, and the knowing of it shall give you strength. Very well. Wait, so very well, I will study the circle is there more you can teach me. As you ask the words, you suddenly notice that Dakon isn't looking at you. He is holding the Unbroken Circle in his hands, studying it. His blade has taken on the same texture as the Unbroken Circle. And Dakon suddenly seems older somehow. Dakon? Dakon's black eyes rise from the circle and look at you. Know that I did not believe you would come to know the teachings of the circle. It is a difficult path you will walk in learning the ways of Zerthamon. Is your mind focused on the matter? Yes, I wish to know more. Dakon's fingers feel around the edges of the stone circle, and he twists it clockwise, the links clicking until they have settled into a new configuration. He then reverses the motion, resetting the stone. The next circle of Zerthamon is open to you. Study it and I will hear your words. Alright. I don't know. I was thinking like maybe he's scared? Wait. We actually get the second circle. Wait, Scripture as Steel. Whoa! I didn't even realise I got spells. Wait, so what's this do? 180 feet, duration 30. Inscribed upon... No, that's just that. Usable only by mages and the Nameless One. Copy. I copied the spell. How many can I copy? Can I copy as many as I need? Yeah, they're all open. Whereas in this, it's... I can only learn 2. Not learn, memorize. Okay, I want to be in my inventory. So we have the third circle. Allows user to copy Submerge the Will into spellbook. 12 seconds per level. 1 creature. Nice! This is cool. Scroll of Armor. Why don't I have him actually, like, learn these? Scroll of Ice Knight. Chromatic Orb. Scroll of Strength. Scroll of Edda's Kiss. Scroll of Armor. Scroll of Fist of Iron. I mean, it makes sense to do this. So if I go to Dakon's spellbook now, yeah, he knows a lot more. They're all level 1 spells too. No, they aren't. Oh boy. He can actually learn 2 level 2 spells. Adler's Kiss, Ice Knife. I'm pretty sure Ice Knife is incredibly good. Daggers of Ice can be conjured that not only strike the intended target, but can spread cold as ice in winter. As ice in water. I'm an idiot. Cool. Right, he can learn that too. We need to rest. I don't even think he's got that yet. No, he don't. He has 4! Hold the phone. He can actually learn something, put something else up here. Chromatic Orb. Area of Effect. Wait, long are the debates about the spectrum of the colour in the multiverse. A large magical orb of colour which can be then hurled at a target using the caster's normal attack roll plus 3. Depending on the caster's level. Oh boy. So he's level 4 or 5. 1 to 10 points. Not bad. I'll go with that. What's Fist of Iron do? Area of Effect. Nameless One only. Oh shit. That might be something that only the Nameless One should be able to use? Not entirely sure. Either way. Submerge of the Will and Rains of Anger. That's why these look like this. Right. Makes sense. He can only do the 1. Level 2. Blood Bridge. A bizarre compact of the healer's heart and the merchant's mind. This necromantic spell transforms your very body into a marketplace that barters life and death. Your life essence can be given to others at a cost to yourself. When cast, the mage can select any living, non-undead target within touch range and drain life from himself. Oh, that's cool. Although with this, I think I'd prefer to go with... I don't know, actually. Submerge of the Will. Oh, it does actually give you this. When the will is submerged, new strength is gained. Scripture of Steel. I'm pretty sure that gives you, yeah, +1 to hit and +1 saving throws. Go with those two. Yeah, we got 2 identifiers. And then we have Mort, who knows nothing. He knows taunts. Yeah, basically. Right, anyway, I need to learn of the next level. I'm currently a mage, so I may as well equip these. Why the hell not? Yeah, my armor class has gone down to 6. His armor class is 2. What? Yeah, we still can't identify things. Right, I need to use the the Circle of Zethamon. Right, so, unlock the 4th circle. Whoop. You slide the plates into the configuration Dakon showed you, and a new ring is revealed. The ring carries the same script. Yep, read the 4th. Know that the rising of the people against the Illithid was a thing built upon many 10 turnings of labour. Many of the people were gathered and taught in secret the ways of defeating their Illithid masters. They were taught to shield their minds and use them as weapons. They were taught the scripture as steel, and most importantly, they were given the knowing of freedom. Some of the people learned the nature of freedom and took it into their hearts. The knowing gave them strength. Others feared freedom and kept silent, but there were those that knew freedom and knew slavery. And it was their choice that the people remained chained. One of those was Vilquar. Looks like RuneScape. It's a game that was released in 1999, so... 98, I think. It was released before 2000. So, it's a very old game. Okay, so continue reading the symbols. Vilquar saw no freedom in the Rising, but opportunity. He saw that the Illithid had spawned across many of the false worlds. Their worlds numbered so many that their vision was turned only outwards, to all they did not already touch. Vilquar's eye saw that much took place that the Illithid did not see. To the Rising, the Illithid were blinded. Vilquar came before his master, the Illithid... what is that name? Zigitaris? With the knowing of the Rising. So Vilquar added to his chains and offered to be their eyes against the Rising. In exchange, Vilquar asked that he be rewarded for his service. The Illithid agreed to his contract. At the bonding of the contract, a dark time occurred. Many were the betrayals Vilkar committed, and many were the people that the Illithids fed upon to stem the Rising. It seemed that the Rising would die before it could occur, and the Illithid were pleased with Vilkar's eye. Jeez. Yeah, pretty much. The only downside to names like that is when it comes to reading them, I'm like, what? What are these strange sounds I have to make? It was near the end of this dark time when Zerthamon came to know Vilkar's treacheries. In knowing Vilkar's eye, Zerthamon forced the Rising to silence itself, so that Vilkar might think at last his treacheries had succeeded, and the Rising had fallen. He knew that Vilkar's eye was filled only with the reward he had been promised. He would see what he wished to see. With greed beating in his heart, Vilkar came upon the Illithid, Zigitaris, and spoke to his master of his success. He said that the Rising had fallen, and that the Illithids were safe to turn their eyes outwards once more. He praised their wisdom in using Vilkar's eye, and he asked them for his reward. In his blindness, Vilkar had forgotten the knowing of why the people had sought freedom. He had lost the knowing of what slavery meant. He had forgotten what his Illithid masters saw when they looked upon him, and so Vilkar's betrayal of the people was ended with another betrayal. Oh dear. Vilkar came to know that when Vilkar's eye had nothing left to see, Vilkar's eye was useless. And they killed him. Alright, so the Illithid gave to Vilkar his reward, opening the cavity of his skull and devouring his brain. Vilkar's corpse was cast upon the fields of husks, so its blood might water the poison stem